Okay, everybody, welcome again. This presentation is the Small Business Guide to Mobile Marketing. Mobilize your business, how to reach today's on-the-go customer and crush the competition. Let's go ahead and get started here. I want to be respectful of your time, and I know we still have some people joining in here, but they'll get caught up here in just 1 minute, I'm sure. So let's get going. Okay, a couple of logistics to start. First, I just want to let you know that we are recording this presentation and we will send a link to the recording out to all of you. So no need to take intense notes. You'll have a copy that you can go back through and access whenever you like. Also, if you have any questions during this presentation, please chat them into the box below and I will address them at the end. Or if time does not permit, what I'll do is I will just follow up. Somebody from our firm will follow up with you individually after this presentation. Okay? Welcome again, everybody. I appreciate your time. Appreciate that you're taking some time out of your busy schedule to join me here today to talk about mobile marketing and specifically how and why you need to mobilize your business to reach today's mobile customer and beat your competition. Okay, we've got a lot of great content to cover today, so let's go ahead and get right to it. First of all, let's just get a common definition here of what is mobile marketing. I'd like to make sure we're all on the same page and we're all using the same definition. So here's the one I use, which is from the Mobile Marketing Association. They say that mobile marketing is a set of practices that enables organizations to communicate and engage with their audience in an interactive and relevant manner through any mobile device or network. Okay, again, that's from the Mobile Marketing Association. Seems simple enough to me, except for maybe the question is, what is a mobile device? Well, mostly we're talking about smartphones, right? Those phones that, the far majority of us are now carrying around in our pockets, but we're also talking about other categories like tablets, e-readers, and even gaming consoles. There's now these wireless mobile gaming consoles. So basically anything that's small and portable and able to connect to the internet, just about any device that fits that description is now a part of an advertising network, and you can target consumers on those devices. All right, so what makes up mobile marketing? Well, this field is dynamic. It's literally the most dynamic marketing field I've ever seen, and it's changing every day. But as of today, there are 4 basic elements that I'd like to cover. Mobile optimization, or SEO, SMS messaging, or commonly known as text messaging, mobile advertising, and mobile applications. And we'll explore each of these elements and the opportunities they create in greater detail here later in the presentation. Sorry about that. But first, I always like to address the kind of who cares question right up front. Now, if you're registered for this webinar, then chances are pretty good that you have some notion of how important mobile marketing has become just here in the last few years. But maybe there are some people in the audience today that are still a little skeptical and need this subject put into context a bit. And the stats on this slide should help. As you can see, mobile phones in particular are a really big deal. 87% of Americans have them. And it may surprise you to learn that the majority of the population says their phone is their most used device ahead of their personal computers. Okay, so mobile phones really have become a part of everyday life, and they're getting smarter and more capable every day. I mean, literally, I can do things on my phone now today that I could not do with my computer just a handful of years ago. That's how powerful they are. And mobile has become so prevalent that really mobile is in and analog is out. Ask anyone under 40 years old if they still have a traditional phone line, and it's shocking how many of them have ditched their old landlines in favor of just having mobile phones. I personally have not had a traditional phone line at my house now for about 4 years, so I'm a good example of this. So mobile really is in. It's become such a major part of our society and how we live and how we do business. Now, if that's not enough to convince you, consider this. People use their phones 5 times more to search for search for information on local businesses, right, on your businesses, okay? And according to a recent Google survey of US consumers, 71% of smartphone users that see TV, press, or online ads do a mobile search for more information. 71%. So people really are turning to their phones as the first place to get more information about your business. And I really want to stress that, because I think that mobile marketing, for a lot of people, they get the idea that, well, mobile marketing is for, big businesses. But the reality is that the far majority of what's going on in local is actually, in mobile, is actually very local in nature. People are using their mobile phones to find your business. So the question that I have for you is, are you reaching them there, right? Is your business mobilized? Now, make no mistake, the future is mobile. Morgan Stanley predicts that mobile browsing, surfing the web from your phone, will outpace desktop browsing within 3 to 5 years. And it almost seems like, this is just science fiction, doesn't it? It's hard to believe that just a handful of years ago, iPhones and Androids didn't even exist yet. And now they're such a big part of our lives. Well, I can assure you this is not science fiction. This is happening right now, and it's happening at an incredible pace. Location-based marketing. So marketing that is targeting an audience based on a specific location is projected to grow to $6 billion in 2015, and that's from $0 in 2009. That is astronomical growth, right? And again, that's location-based marketing. So I'm talking about targeting somebody based on where they're at with their phone, right? And that really gets to why this mobile marketing is so popular and it's growing so quickly. There's two reasons why why this is taking off so quickly. One, buyer habits, which we've already talked about a bit. People are using their phones to search for businesses, and they're using them while they're out on the road, or they're out walking around and shopping. So you can target them literally where they're at. And equally important is the results that advertisers are getting. In fact, businesses that have adopted mobile marketing, such as restaurants, you can see here, according to a study commissioned by Burrell Associates, which is a firm that does research on this topic, some restaurants are seeing 65% redemption rates from these geo-targeted ads. 65%. Imagine having 65% of your prospects respond to your marketing campaigns. That absolutely blows away any other form of advertising. You can understand why, right? If somebody is within a mile of my restaurant and it's right before lunchtime and I shoot them out a coupon that says, hey, come to my restaurant and get 20% off of your lunch, you can see why that would be so effective, right? You can deliver these campaigns in such a timely, targeted manner. Okay, at this point, I'm going to assume that you're convinced that mobile marketing is a legitimate opportunity. The question you probably have now is, well, how can I use mobile marketing to grow my business, right? What are the benefits and challenges of adopting this medium at my business? So let's get into that. There are several benefits. Let's start with those. And this isn't an exhaustive list or anything like that, but it's a good place to start. So one, mobile marketing is a great way to increase customer loyalty by engaging with them wherever they are, not just when they're tethered to their computer. Two, mobile marketing is helping many businesses bring in more revenue per customer. Three, mobile marketing is a great way to promote awareness of your brand and therefore get more website traffic. And also, most importantly for a lot of businesses, is to get more retail traffic, right? Mobile phones can be, ads on mobile phones, promotions to mobile phones can drive a real boost in retail traffic, which I know is, again, one of the most critical factors in a lot of local businesses' success. Now, let's talk about some of the challenges, real and perceived, that are preventing small business owners from adopting mobile marketing. According to this recent study, almost half say they don't have the time to figure it out. Okay, almost half. And this is from a FanMinder mobile marketing survey in late 2010. So they feel like they just don't have the time to figure this stuff out, which I think is common with new technology, and it's common with smaller businesses because as a rule, smaller businesses are strapped for time and resources. So it makes sense. 30% of those surveyed said mobile marketing was outside their budget. Now, the reality is that mobile marketing is incredibly cost-effective and affordable, maybe one of the most cost-effective and affordable ways of marketing your business today. But there's still this perception that it's only for the big companies with the deep pockets, and I really want to encourage you to ditch that if that's your perception, because, like I said, it really is one of the most affordable ways of marketing your business today. And another third cite lack of understanding, that they're interested in mobile marketing, but they're just not sure how to start. All right, so let's tackle that last question, where to begin head on right now, where to start with your mobile marketing efforts. And a great place to start is what's often called mobile SEO or mobile optimization. And what is that? Well, it's pretty simple. It's similar to SEO. It effectively just means that, hey, when somebody searches for a business, if somebody is pulling up looking for a pizza restaurant on their phone, if I own a pizza restaurant, I want my site to show up when they search. Right? Because the people whose businesses show up get far more business than the ones that don't. It's common sense. But in this case, it's making sure that you're optimized for mobile, not just for the regular search engine results that you see on your computer, but optimized for mobile results. So you want to be easily found when people are searching on the move and they're searching on those little phone screens. And you've got to do that by specifically optimizing a site for mobile phones. So here's the thing, the popularity of these mobile devices and the fact that there's so many types of mobile devices has presented new challenges for publishers of information. And when I say publishers, really you, right? You are a publisher by publishing your website. So it's presented some new challenges. For one thing, phones have tiny screens, right? And most business websites were designed to be viewed on bigger monitors on desktops or laptops. So you've got to make adjustments to the way your content is displayed to make sure that they show up properly on those smaller screens. And if they don't look right on that screen, here's the issue. People won't stay on your website, particularly on their phone, if it doesn't display well, right? If it's not coming up properly, they're not going to sit there and try and figure it out. It's too big of a pain in the neck. So if they're not optimized, I can tell you that people will just jump right off of them really, really fast. So you may sell the best darn pizza or whatever widget, this side of the Mississippi, but if your website isn't optimized for mobile, you're not going to get those mobile customers. You're going to lose them to the next guy down the street who does have a mobile optimized site. So what am I talking about? Well, this is a really good example, right? This is an example of a website that obviously isn't mobile optimized, and it's obviously not very attractive, and nobody's going to sit and try and figure this out on their phone, I can assure you, right? But the reality is the majority of businesses still don't have a mobile optimized site, and I bet the majority of you listening to this don't. So as you can imagine, your competitors that do have a real advantage. So you want to quickly find out, do I have a mobile optimized site? The way you could do that, of course, is just pull up your site on your own phone. And if it doesn't look good, if the information is hard to navigate and find your way to the right content on your site, then you really do need to get a mobile optimized site. So what does a mobile optimized site look like? I thought this was a good example. This is from a sandwich shop called Firehouse Subs. And basically it just looks like a stripped down version of their main website, right? But it's designed to give the most relevant information for the mobile user, right? If I'm in my car or walking around looking for a sandwich to eat for lunch and I pull up this site, I can very easily find everything I'm looking for, right? What do these guys serve? What kind of sandwiches do they have? Where are the stores, right? How do I contact them? And then they've got a few other things in here that are probably not real necessary on a mobile phone. Support our foundation and become a franchisee. I can understand why they want to have that there to promote those things. But really, if I was designing, I think, just a really good mobile app for a sub shop, I would just have that menu, store locator, how to contact us. Certainly those social media buttons are nice because I could easily share the site with friends. And then I would probably have a little coupon section there, right? So that somebody could easily get a coupon and really try and drive them into my business. So the layout is a little bit different from a main site, but mobile browsers are often, just looking for that basic information like driving directions and hours of operations and contact, phone numbers. So apps like this, or mobile websites like this, I should say, make it very easy to find those things. So I think step one is to create a mobile-friendly site so that all of the millions and millions of people looking for you can find you and get what they're looking for. Make sure you have the basic information that someone would look for when on their phone, right? Their address, their phone number, driving directions. Make sure that all of those things are prominently displayed, right? So get that mobile site created first, because if you are investing in any other type of mobile marketing, you'll want to make sure that the mobile site is the first thing you have so that your ads drive people to something that they can actually use. Okay, it makes sense. All right, next, let's talk about SMS messaging, commonly known as text messaging. All right, text messaging is wildly popular, and it's mind-bogglingly effective in terms of its ability to promote a business and acquire new customers. I mean, consider the stats on this slide. People are really engaged with their phones and really engaged with text messaging. I mean, nearly 3/4 of phone users send or receive 664 texts each month, and that they only make 176 phone calls during that same period. So people are using their phones more for text messaging than they are for phone calls, which, if you have a teenager in your household, you know that this is true. The highest text messaging or SMS messaging experiences the highest open and read rates of any form of digital marketing, right? The open and read rates for text messages are literally off the charts. And lastly, whereas people change their email addresses a lot, as they change jobs and things like that, 33% of people change their email address on a yearly basis. So if you have a list of email addresses, it gets bad pretty quickly. Whereas people keep their cell phone numbers for a long time. They often try and keep them for life so that they don't have to, give out a new number to people, right? So people tend to keep those numbers for a long time. So if you build a list of phone numbers for SMS messaging, you'll oftentimes have that list for a long, long time and be able to reach those people for years to come. Now, I think there's a widely held notion that text message marketing is simply another form of spam and that users don't like getting promotional messages delivered to their phones, right? They're just looking for messages from friends and family. And there's a grain of truth to this because you don't want to spam people. So you do have to be careful about SMS messaging, but you should also know that people want to hear from you. And I'm not making this up. The data shows it. One survey shows that people actually prefer to get coupons via text message over any other channels. And, I believe that. I mean, here's a coupon, an example of a coupon sent via text. And this is just a real simple version one here. But I can see why people would prefer getting a coupon this way over other forms. I mean, who wants to clip paper coupons and carry them around with them wherever they go, right? There's very few people who really want to do that. But having a coupon on your phone is a very easy and practical way to take advantage of special offers. And you're carrying your phone around with you anyway. And every phone can receive text. So it makes it a very easy way to have those coupons with you. And text messages aren't just good for coupons. They're great for appointment reminders, like if you have a hair salon or maybe you're running like a chiropractic office or things like that, where you need to let people know about their appointments, remind them about their appointments. Or you could let people know that their reservations are ready, right, for a restaurant. So there's a number of ways that you can do this. I've seen businesses use text messaging to update customers on the status of some sort of project that they're working on, some sort of major project like home renovations and things like that. There's almost no end to the practical uses of text messaging. If you decide to launch an SMS marketing campaign, there are some things that you should consider. Number one, get permission and provide value, right? Get permission and provide value. Make it very clear how you intend to use their information. Nobody wants to get spammed on their phone. So make it very clear that you are going to use it for coupons, if that's what you plan on using it for, so that people know what they're getting into. Encourage participation by offering incentives. People love discounts and special offers, so use that to build your list, right? You can offer somebody a coupon immediately for joining your text messaging list. So as soon as they join your list, you will automatically send them out a coupon that they can use. And then use that SMS list to deliver rewards, giveaways, coupons right away and frequently so that they feel like they're getting value from it and they're reminded to visit your business over the competition. All right, so how do you do SMS messaging? It's really quite simple. There's platforms for doing SMS messaging, just like there are email marketing platforms or email marketing tools, right? And it's a very similar thing. You just log into this web interface, you compose your message, and you send it out the door to your list. There's really not much more to that. The one special thing that you have to do with SMS messaging is that you have to set up your short code. And obviously you want to post that short code wherever you can so that your prospects and your customers can see it and use it. But a short code, if you're not familiar with that, is just one of those short little phone number codes that you actually put on signs so that people know, text coupons to Subway or whatever it is, or coupons to 90210, so that you can send them out the coupons. And that's their way of joining your list. All right, so that's the only thing that's really different about SMS messaging, but it's very simple, and certainly we can help you with that if you're interested in that. As you can go out and find services out there as well. All right, next, let's talk about mobile advertising. So another great way to leverage your buyer's reliance on their mobile phone is to run mobile ads. Here's an example of a mobile ad for Kentucky Fried Chicken, of all things. And it may be a little tough to see, but this ad was actually presented inside of the mobile version of FHM magazine, which is a popular men's magazine. And it gives the mobile user an opportunity to win a PSP gaming console from Sony as an incentive for visiting the Kentucky Fried Chicken site and, of course, hopefully eating more of their food. Right, so there's a competition. I'm sure if you purchase one of these boneless banquet meals that they're promoting here, then you get entered to win a PSP. So they obviously know their audience. They know that they probably have a lot of young men who are interested in gaming, that they're trying to get to eat more Kentucky Fried Chicken. So mobile advertising like this is taking off like a rocket. According to research from MobiThinking.com, a mobile research firm, mobile ad spending worldwide is predicted to reach $20.6 billion in 2015. $20.6 billion. And as you can see on this chart, there were over 234 billion, with a B, ad impressions, mobile ad impressions, in the fourth quarter of 2011 alone. 234 billion in one quarter. That's a huge number, and it's growing at an astronomical rate. You can see on the right-hand side there that there was a 251% growth in mobile impressions over the past year, and 488% growth in smartphone impressions in the global mobile market. Okay, so that is just absolutely astronomical growth on top of an already huge number. Now, the question is, what's working in mobile advertising? Well, data compiled by Gartner, the IT research firm, shows that search ads and location ads deliver the highest revenue. In other words, local is where it's at. In the US, over half of US mobile ad spending is local. So that means if you're a local business, meaning that you primarily sell or service a specific geographic area, mobile advertising may be the perfect thing for you because you can target people based on specific locations, based on specific applications that they're using, and even the types of devices that they're using. So it allows you to narrow in exactly on who you're trying to reach. Okay, let's talk about some of these strategies for a moment here. Some things to keep in mind. One, be realistic about what you expect, okay, when you're running these mobile ads. Mobile marketing is very effective and its potential grows every day, but it's not a silver bullet. You can't sell, real big ticket items to somebody on a mobile phone. So you shouldn't expect major transactions to occur from the mobile phones. Instead, work on how you can get them to just take the first step in a sales process and get that started, right? So that may be just making a phone call to you, or getting them to opt into your list, or possibly even downloading an application, a mobile application. Whatever it is, it's got to be quick and easy to do on the phone for it to be a success. So think about that when you're creating your ads and creating your campaigns. You want to make sure that you're expecting them to do something that's realistic from a phone. So how can you get started with mobile advertising? Well, there's lots of great ad networks and platforms to choose from. Google, as always, is the elephant in the room, but there are some other great players in this space that you might want to consider. Competitors like JumpTap, Millennial Media, Microsoft, Tapjoy, and there are many others as well. Each has its own pros and cons, and each usually has like better reach for particular types of buyers. Some focus on sending ads just to people on gaming devices versus phones, things like that. If you're just getting started, I would suggest 99% of you should just get started on Google's network, the AdMob network, which they bought AdMob a couple of years ago. It's a great network, and it should be, like I said, it should work perfectly well for 99% of you. Once you get familiar with that mobile advertising, maybe you want to really dig deep into your strategies and options, then that's probably the right time to look at some of these other resources. But you know what? Getting started really is easy. So again, don't be intimidated by this. Don't think that it's just something for big businesses. Creating a mobile ad, really, it's essentially the same as just placing a normal online ad, which if you haven't done that, it's simple. But you want to make sure that your art and your messaging is optimized for mobile screens, and really that you're, again, asking your audience to do something realistic on a phone. And lastly, be cognizant of the results that you get, and constantly tune and tweak them. Really look through the analytics of these campaigns, which you can get fantastic analytics, and really work to improve the messaging and the response that you're trying to get from these ads. All right, next let's talk about mobile applications. This is the next piece of the mobile marketing puzzle. Apps are a huge business, and I'm sure you're all familiar with apps. If you're in if you're using an iPhone, you've got the Apple App Store. It's become just this amazingly big business, seemingly overnight. There are more than 250,000 applications available for download just in Apple's App Store alone. And get this, in 2010, 5 billion apps were downloaded from the Apple App Store. 5 billion. So as more people switch to smartphones, you can expect that this number is just going to keep rising. Here's another mind-blowing stat. According to Gartner, mobile apps themselves will generate $15.9 billion in revenue. $15.9 billion in revenue in 2012. That's a huge number. And Gartner predicts that location-enabled apps, which deliver services and promotional messages, again, based on the location of the user, will be the most profitable in coming years. So again, that speaks very specifically to the smaller businesses that are looking to drive people to their local businesses. Now, with all that said, I'm not saying that you should definitely rush out and pay a developer to build an app for your business. Apps are not necessarily for every business. And honestly, users are getting increasingly picky about which apps they'll download. Studies are showing that there's this phenomenon known as app fatigue. right? And it's a real issue. Most apps stop getting used after a very short period of time because they just don't make it on the user's short list of most important apps, right? If you have 100 apps on your phone, there's probably only 10 of them that you use real frequently. The rest of them you kind of forget about. So that's a real issue. And if you're interested in taking this app route, you've got to do your homework. You've got to figure out how you can create an app that truly adds some unique value to your prospects and your buyers so that it doesn't just get lost on the phone screen. So let me show you some examples of what some other companies have done, and perhaps there are some ideas that would likely, just give you some ideas that would be good for your target market. So here's one, an app that delivers special offers. As I mentioned earlier, people love getting sweet deals over their phones. This one is from Golfsmith. Golfsmith is a golf store, and if you know anything about golfers, they are rabid buyers of golf products. So this is like a special deals app where they present a new deal each day, and you can check your app and see what kind of offer there is. And again, if you have that fanatical buying audience like golfers, this can be a really, really profitable app to put out there into the marketplace. Another possibility, if you have an enthusiastic customer base, is you can channel and leverage that enthusiasm into a loyalty program. Now, this is an example of one that a lot of you probably recognize. This is the loyalty and purchasing app from Starbucks. And, I know a lot of people who use this several times a day. So if you've got, frequent buyers, you're trying to encourage more frequent consumption of your products, a loyalty app is a great way to do that. Next, this is an app that is a calorie calculator and an exercise calculator. And any app that makes someone's life easier, helps them accomplish their goals, it's worth exploring, because if you can help people out, you can generate a ton of goodwill, and that will obviously pay dividends for your business. So this is a good example. Again, it's a fitness and weight loss, kind of calorie counting app from a fitness and weight loss company, and they're helping their customers succeed, right, by helping them track what they're eating and how many calories they're burning in exercise. So there's a lot of examples of this type of thing, of a calculator app. I mean, I've seen mortgage calculators. I've seen for construction contractors, I've seen calculators that help them measure exactly how much of specific products they need in doing their home construction. I've seen cooking measurement calculators for home chefs. So there's all kinds of possibilities, and you can, I'm sure, think of a lot more based on the business that you have or businesses that you're familiar with. All right, next, games or entertainment apps. It seems like everyone loves games, right? No matter what the demographic, games are just absolutely exploding online, on computers, on mobile phones, on all kinds of devices. You may have even heard of, there's a huge trend they call gamification of business, where just normal businesses are including some sort of gaming component into their business to make it more fun and engaging for people to buy from them. Foursquare is a perfect example of an app that makes a game out of checking into various businesses. If you've never been on Foursquare, you can become the mayor of a business by checking into it more often than anybody else. You can win these little pins and badges and prizes and stuff like that. Well, you can use Foursquare to create a game experience for those that come to your business, right? To encourage people to come back more. So that's just one example, but there's lots of businesses out there that are using games to encourage people to engage with them on their phones. Now, lastly, productivity apps. Productivity apps are incredibly popular in Apple's App Store and in the Android marketplace. And there's lots and lots of different examples out there. This one is the mobile trading app from E-Trade. I think that's a pretty good example. And they also have those funny Super Bowl commercials with the talking baby. Those are pretty funny. But you can literally trade stocks on the go from your phone now, which is just, that in itself is just amazing. I can remember back when I was young and my uncle was teaching me about stocks, and he was, you had to pick up the phone and call the broker and place an order. It's pretty amazing how far that industry has come. You don't necessarily have to come up with some incredible technological innovation like this, but if you can find a way to help your customers get more done through an app, then you can certainly win their loyalty. All right, so those are the 4 major types of mobile marketing: mobile SEO or optimization, SMS messaging or text messaging, mobile advertising, and mobile application development. And probably, honestly, by the time I'm done with this presentation, there could be another thing that you could add to this list because it is such a dynamic field. If you take anything away from this presentation, and I hope that you got some good ideas for your business, but if you take away just one thing, it should be this: the future of the web is tied to smartphones and mobile devices. And I should say the future of business is tied to smartphones and mobile devices. If you're going to compete for tomorrow's customer, I really think that you have to have a mobile strategy for your business to stay relevant. Okay, so really consider what strategy can you put in place for your business that has a mobile focus. All right, let me get a sip of water, and then we're going to get on to some frequently asked questions that I get about mobile marketing. All right, frequently asked question number 1. Do I need to have a separate website for my mobile site? Effectively, the answer is yes. I mean, as I showed you earlier, your mobile site will have a lot less information, and it has to be designed for consumption on a mobile phone. So yeah, you need to design something else other than just your main website for use on mobile phones. Question number 2, will I put the same information on my mobile site? No, I mean, you will put much less information, right? People aren't taking the time on their mobile phones to read through all the content you would have up on your main website. They just want condensed, basic information on their phone that allows them to either find you or get in touch with you or, call you or download something very quickly. So you've got to make it easy. You've got to consolidate and condense that information into a very easily digestible form while somebody's on a phone. Next, I often get asked, how do you make a mobile website? Well, there are a lot of publishing tools out there that can create a mobile-friendly website, and it's a pretty simple process for any experienced developer, any experienced website designer. Just like creating a normal website, you've got these different publishing tools out there that help you do that, WordPress and Joomla and things like that. There are similar tools for mobile websites. So, your website developer will be able to help you with this. Next, what is a short code? I talked about this earlier. Short codes are specific telephone numbers that are shorter than normal telephone numbers. They can be used to automatically subscribe people to a text messaging list and deliver them information. So again, you've probably seen these on TV if you've ever voted for American Idol. But you see them on, signs on restaurants and things like that more and more often now. And it'll say like text coupons to 90210 on your mobile phone. Those are short codes. Sending coupons to 90210 is an example of a short code. Okay, are mobile ads pay per click? Okay, so am I paying per click when somebody actually clicks on my mobile ad? You can do mobile ads on a pay per click or a pay per impression basis, just like you can in regular online advertising. And you can also do pay per call models, right? If you really want someone to just call and that's the response that you're looking for. So there's a number of different models. You can actually do pay per downloads as well. So there's a lot of models. Again, it's a very innovative space, and there's new things coming out every day. How can I build a mobile app? Again, there are software platforms that are specifically designed to help you build mobile apps. And there's a lot of them because there's just been a huge surge in mobile app development. So there's a lot of different platforms out there that can help you do this. And they're pretty easy to find. Are mobile apps expensive? Is it expensive to build a mobile app? Is a common question I get. Not necessarily. Okay, a simple mobile app can really be surprisingly cheap. I mean, potentially no more than like $1,000 to have built for you. That being said, just like anything else, you can end up spending much more if you want to take a more sophisticated approach. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to build an E-Trade, type of app, or even just, something where from that mobile app, they're able to truly interact with, your business or some sort of application that you use at your business, those things can certainly get more complicated and more expensive, and you could spend as much as you want to if you're going to take a more sophisticated approach like that. But for the majority of businesses, no, mobile apps are not that expensive. Okay, that's the last of them. Wraps up the presentation. I just want to say that the strategies around mobile and the specifics of how you execute a mobile strategy may seem daunting to you at this point. I mean, if this is all pretty new to you, but don't worry. It is really practical for most businesses to take advantage of mobile marketing. There is a solution and a strategy that you can execute, and we are here to help you if you need help. Okay, so certainly feel free to reach out and give us a call or shoot us an email. You've got the information here right around this webinar. You've got our phone number and email address to contact us. So please, if you are interested in exploring any aspects of a mobile strategy for your business, we'd love to be a resource for you. So that's the end of this presentation. I hope that it's been helpful, and I really appreciate the time that you took out of your busy schedule to be with me here today. I know I said I was going to open up for questions, but we are running to the end of our presentation time here, and I want to be respectful of your time and get you back to work. So if you have any questions, please make sure to chat them into the chat box below this presentation right now, and we will follow up with you individually to make sure that we get your questions answered. Okay? So thank you again. I really appreciate your time and appreciate you joining me here today, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Take care.